Get down! Do it. Stand back. Trick or treat!
Uncle? Let me see.
You've come back to us, Michael. The rage inside. Let me take you to her. You don't need that.
National Guard will take him to a maximum security facility, where he'll stay till the day he dies.
So what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the JEFFMAN316 Pop Culture Reporter channel. I'm your host, as always, JEFFMAN316, and hopefully we're live. I already saw Ken out there saying, let's go. Hey, can you hear me? My headphones just broke, so I can't hear anything that I'm saying myself. So hopefully you can hear me. It's like I always seems like I got something weird going on with my audio. Yeah, so cool. All right, well, looks like we're fine. Before we get into what I was telling you guys, since the next review, I just recorded my review for Halloween 4, and I used a lot of the information that we talked about last week, so that was cool. So I appreciate everybody helping with that. This week's main topic is going to be Halloween 5. I got this Nicolas Cage looking Michael Myers mask in the back to remind everybody what it's about. So if anybody pops on, I invited a couple people from the Halloween group that I normally talk to, and so hopefully we can talk a little bit about Halloween 5. That's the next one I got to review, and I don't remember whether it was Cody or whoever it was last week was asking me, had I seen it? I've already obviously seen all those movies lots of times, and but I hadn't watched Halloween 5 in a while because I always thought Halloween 5 was really bad. So I watched the rest of it, and let's just say, spoiler alert for my review, the movie hasn't been improved with age. It was just as bad as I remembered it. So hopefully somebody will get a kick out of my review when I record that one, because it's probably going to be I'm going to bust a lot of chops with that one, because I just don't think they did a good job with it all the way around. But yeah, I'd like to hear anybody that watches their opinion before I tarnish anybody's opinion that hasn't watched in a while. But before we do that, since Ken's on here, and I don't know, I see somebody else, but before everybody gets on here, hey, I ended up getting a cheap movie off of Amazon. I want to see, especially you, Ken, see if you've seen it. Hey, look, we got some cool porn stuff already. We must be popular. Have you seen the movie Payback with Mel Gibson? This is a special edition. It's got the theatrical version and the director's cut, and the director's cut is much different in tone, style, scenes, everything. This is one of my favorite Mel Gibson movies, so I wanted to, if anybody watches this later, I wanted to let you guys know this was really kind of a cheap. I forget exactly how much. I think it was under $15 on Amazon. I'm obviously a Prime member, so I got shipping free. But this is a really underrated movie here. And especially the different cuts of it. Like I said, it's almost like watching two totally different movies. This isn't, I think, only the theatrical cuts on Blu-ray in the US. I think the DVD, there might have been a director's cut of it on DVD, but this, I didn't have to change regions on my player. So I think this must be region free. So there's the back cover if anybody wants to see it. Usually these are region B coded, but when I think, because it looks like it's a UK, but everything's in English on the back. So it's got, like I said, and it's got special features. It's got a director's cut commentary, interviews with Mel Gibson and Lucy Liu, a bunch of behind the scenes featurette. Like I said, if you haven't watched Payback, I highly recommend that. And after I watch it again, I might do a review of it on the channel after I get through all these stinking Halloween reviews. And then something else I'm going to review on the channel, just because this was near and dear to my heart back in the day, as far as my childhood. Ken, do you remember this? I was able to get the Walmart Bigfoot, and it's funny because it says Andre the Giant, and then it says as Bigfoot, really small right there. I pre-ordered this thing last year, like in October, off of Walmart's website. People I know on the West Coast some of them found them in stores. This is a Walmart exclusive. This is the series of figures where the WWE put out, where anybody that was from the WWE, like I think John Cena, Roddy Piper from They Live, and who was the third one? Was it The Rock? I think so, from Hobbs and Shaw. Any WWE Hollywood, that anybody in the WWE that's done anything in Hollywood, they put it in this series. And I don't know if anybody knew that, but Andre the Giant played the Bionic Bigfoot on the $6 Million Man. I know we were talking about the $6 Million Man the other week. That set is still too expensive for me to get on Blu-ray right now. Yeah, I haven't seen this one in stores either. I didn't even remember ordering it. It was so long ago. This was, like I said, it was like last October. I didn't order the other ones. I don't care anything about getting Roman Reigns from Hobbs and Shaw, whatever movie that was. And The Rock is from The Scorpion King. So I don't really care about that either. But I thought it was really mega cool to finally get this in the mail. I wasn't even expecting it. I didn't even remember that I pre-ordered it. So I'm going to open this on the channel maybe this week. And then after we get off this live stream, if you saw my movie hunt for the week, I picked up a couple movies, and the one of them that's in here is the one I'm going to watch tonight. So, Ken, have you seen this yet? Did you see Men? So I bought that this week. So got a couple things brewing. I might do a review of that if I like it. And then, like I said, I got to record this stinking review of Halloween 5, and I'm not looking forward to it. It's I'll go ahead and tell you, my review of Halloween 4 drops tomorrow, and that series, as far as the first 4, I think it's better than Friday the 13th to me, because I like Friday the 13th. The first one is kind of boring in Friday the 13th. I really like the second one. The third one is so-so. It's got some key moments in it, like, Jason finally gets his mask. That's kind of cool. But other than that, I really, Friday the 13th Part 3 is weird. It's got like the thing where the girl thought she got raped by Jason and all that. And then 4 is one of my favorite ones. So, but Halloween 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think you really can't go wrong with either one of them. I know if you like Michael Myers, you might not dig, Halloween 3 too much, but I really love it. And it's gotten better to me over time. Obviously when it first came out, I didn't like the fact that Halloween 3 didn't have Michael Myers in it, but I really do think it's a strong lineup. Halloween, the first one, obviously being one of my favorite movies. The second one's really good because it ties together. The third one is really original, and I like everything about it. And I'll go ahead and spoil it. Like I said, I really love Halloween 4, so I'd really put some effort into that review. So hopefully, if anybody goes back onto my channel over time and starts digging through reviews and stuff that I've done, they'll. I'm kind of proud of some of the ones I've done with this Halloween series. You said not yet, maybe Redbox. Yeah, I'm a big A24 fan. I've really gotten into a lot of their movies over the last couple years. And I heard this was kind of a little disturbing. So I know a lot of people complain that it was a little woke, but I don't really care about this shit. I don't really get into all that political stuff. So, or whether it's woke about, against men and all that stuff. So we'll see, but I'm really interested in watching that. So I'll do it. So, we got a couple people here. Anybody just want to chime in? The first topic we're going to talk about, like I said, during the first half, is I like to get anybody's opinion on Halloween 5, and I'll throw you some of my opinions out there. I did a little intro. It's awful funny. That Halloween 5 has some good scenes. Let's just put it that way. I couldn't decide which ones I wanted to put in the intro, so I just threw all the ones that I downloaded in there. Am I getting the new Jurassic Park movie Tuesday? I don't know, dude, man. I basically said that movie was a big turd in my review of it. I might wait to Black Friday and buy that one because I know that one will be on sale this year. Does Best Buy have a exclusive steelbook of Jurassic World Domination? That would be the only way I would get it, is if it had a really, really sexy steelbook. I'll look it up while we're on here. It does, but it doesn't look that good. That's what the steelbook looks like. So it's basically blue, and it's baby. Then, dude, they could have that's like no effort whatsoever right there. They could have put some more effort in that. So if that does come out, does that come out this week? 8/16, yeah. Yes, but a boring cover. Yeah, it is a boring cover. That is terrible. That's probably one of the ones where the regular release of it. And hey, they got to release the Jurassic World 5 movie set with with all those in there. And then there's a PlayStation 5 game. I didn't even know they released a PlayStation 5 game for that. So I don't know. Maybe if one of the other stores has a cool case, I don't think I'm paying $35 for that nasty looking steelbook. Or as you said, it's boring. I was trying to find what the standard cover looked like. I don't even see it. Either way. But yeah, that's a toss up. I might get it, I might not. I'm also trying to decide if I want to order that Halloween 4K set with this, with Halloween, Curse of Michael Myers, H2O, and Resurrection in it. So to prepare for my Halloween review, I wanted to see, was it me? Was I being too harsh on the movie? Is it really as bad as I was saying that it was? And I really do think that it's not that it's terrible, but to me, I think the worst part about it is, number one, this mask is horrible. Look at the hair on this thing. Like, it's long and straight. It's almost like he's a punk rocker. Like I said, far off, it almost looks like Nicolas Cage. Why do they, and I've heard other people ask this, why could they not keep a similar looking mask going through this whole franchise? I heard one of the reviewers say, is it that hard to put the damn mask or several of them in a like airtight bag and say, hey, we're going to keep it sealed for the next movie? Why did they have to totally reinvent the mask every time? And what the hell is with this neck piece being so long? I mean, it looks ridiculous. The only reason that I bought it was I got it at Spirit Halloween a couple years ago, and then I used a 20% off coupon, and I've got a shelf in my basement that I've got them all on there from Halloween 2. I don't have any of the Halloween 3 masks, And then I've got the 4 that you guys saw in the background last week. 5. I've got the one from 6. I've got the one from H2O, and I've got the one from Resurrection. So, and then I've bought the new ones as they come out. So, and I'm wondering if there's going to be a Halloween Ends mask that looks anything different than the Halloween Kills mask. So after watching Halloween 5, like I said, my opinion of the movie really hasn't changed. I hate the fact that they went with the possibility of Michael maybe or maybe not dying at the end of 4. You see an extended version of that opening when the movie starts, where he gets thrown down the mine shaft. This time they throw dynamite or grenade or some shit down in there after him, and then they blow that up, but he falls out of the shaft on the back end near the river, and then goes floating down the river. You don't even see any blood or bullet holes in him or anything, and then he ends up snagging a net that's beside this old man's shack, like makeshift shack that he's built in the back in the woods. And so that he didn't travel very far. So I'm guessing everybody just assumed that they blew him up. So nobody went looking for his body. But with that being said, the old man saves him, and it starts off being stupid right from the beginning is what I hate it. So he enters that guy's shack without him knowing it. And then he goes over and puts his hands around him like he's going to strangle him when he scares him, and then he falls down. And the old man, instead of kicking his ass out of his shack or rolling him down back into the water or whatever, the title card comes up and says like 1 year later. So he stays in that old man shack for a year, and that old man takes care of him and nurses his wounds and feeds him and all that kind of stuff. Would anybody really do that after he almost killed him when he entered the shack at the beginning? That just didn't even make any sense to me. And then when he does wake up, he reaches up and grabs his mask, and then you got that shit where Jamie is like mimicking him. They got this psychic connection now, which I guess that's replacing the evil that supposedly entered Jamie at the end of the last one. The mask needs tucking in. Yeah, that's what everybody jokes about. But it's so flared out on the edges, you couldn't tuck shit in. I got to figure out a funny skit to do about that mask. I did something with the Halloween 4 one. So yeah, the blackest eyes. Hey man, I appreciate you coming by, joining us for a few minutes. So give me your thoughts. Yeah, Michael cries. Yeah, so we'll get into that in a few minutes. I will go through some of the key points that I hated in the movie. So we were talking about, I was up to the point where he was putting the mask on, and Jamie's got that psychic connection now. So instead of Jamie being consumed by the evil that was in Michael, because I guess Michael supposedly died at the end of 4, they wiped that clean, which was the only cool aspect. It was a cool way to end 4. And then now she's got this psychic connection, so she can feel when he does stuff or whatever. So he's putting his mask on, and she kind of feels it, and then he murders the old man. So what in the hell was the point of the old man saving him anyway? Like I said, I don't understand why he would have helped somebody that almost strangled him. So then the rest of the movie, Jamie starts off mute, and she can't speak, and she has this connection to Michael. I don't know anything about trauma or whatever, but can anybody explain to me why in the hell she would be mute? Why do you take one of the better characters that was left over from the last movie and you make her mute where she can't even speak? And I know she's a child, but she was a really good child actress, and she did a great job, I thought, in Halloween 4. And now here's like a year later, and that's one of the things I think hurt this film is they rushed it into production. Like this film was literally released a year after, and that thing is fucking spooking me out looking at it over my shoulder in the screen there. It just looks weird. Halloween 5 is a Halloween I've seen the least, except Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Have you seen it more than Resurrection? So I know I mentioned that the other week, and one of you guys made fun of me, where I'm almost to the point where I'm thinking 5 is pretty damn close to being as bad as Resurrection. So I guess I haven't watched Resurrection in a while. I'll watch it coming up here in a couple weeks. I want it to be fresh, usually the week before I review it. So that's why I watched 5 this week and wanted to talk to you guys about it. I think it's meant to be part of the trauma. Maybe, I don't know. I've never heard of that. I guess I just don't understand it. And then randomly, what is it? 3 acts into the movie, she a traumatic event possibly happens with Tina, and then she miraculously gets her voice back. So, and then when she is mute, you got that weird scene where she's in the hospital, or the children's hospital, whatever it is, and you've got stupid Dr. Loomis coming in there like shaking the life out of the girl, trying to get her to talk about her connection to Michael. Yeah, I've tried to give Resurrection many chances. Yeah, I think we'll get into it more obviously during that week when it comes up, but I think if you cut out the Busta Rhymes shit in there and you kind of upgraded maybe the graphics a little bit from the cameras, that movie had some potential as far as what they were going for. Just can't like I said, I think the Busta Rhymes thing kills it. I do like that mask better than this one. This is almost, if I rank the masks at the end of this thing, I'm thinking this is going to get the worst. The only one worse could be Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, when it basically isn't even a mask. It's only like half of a mask. I don't have one of those, so but this mask just doesn't look like Michael Myers to me. They did get the mouth and some detail on the lips a little bit better than that last one, where it basically looked like it was almost just like an egg shaped. But like I said, you might have missed it at the beginning. I joke and I always tell people this reminds me of Nicolas Cage, like almost. So maybe they took a Nicolas Cage mask like they did a William Shatner mask and make that one. Maybe if it was executed better, but it's not. Yeah, I know. But that's one of the problems I think with Halloween 5 is they rushed it into production and then they just rushed everything through. The sad part about that mask, I think this is the movie that Greg Nicotero, the guy who does the Walking Dead, zombies and all that stuff, he made this mask from what I understand, and he did one of the worst jobs out there. So he might be a great makeup effects artist, but he did a poor job on there. I do mention in my review of Halloween 4, speaking of masks, they had that one where they got the masks in and they were all kind of flesh colored, pinkish, and they had white hair and they had to fix the hair and paint it. And then they end up, one of them snuck onto the set. So that was what I can see Nick Cage. Yeah, I can too. Let me turn the shit back around. Look at that. That blank pale stare that he gives, and especially there, if you look at my movie hunts, there was one week that they had a lot of Nicolas Cage covers in Walmart, and one of the damn movie that's got a white background to them all, and one of the movie covers, it's like that's the expression on his face. So yeah, maybe that's one of the jokes I'll make in my review, because I've been trying to do at least something funny or interesting at the beginning of each of these reviews. I came up with something for Halloween 4. Let's just say you guys get to see my damn head wrapped up like a mummy, and that was not fun. So I won't be doing that again. But yeah, when it comes around to Halloween 5, I've got to make fun of that. Put the bunny back in the box. Yeah, I got to do something funny. I was thinking about wearing it and acting out Nicolas Cage famous quotes or something. But either way, so to go back to what we're talking about. So Jamie's in the hospital and you get that scene weirds me out every time when Loomis gets almost on top of her in the bed and is almost shaking her and telling her to talk. I was like, was there anybody that would let him back in that hospital after he did such stuff? But I always joke with people and say, they let people get away with shit, all kinds of shit back in the day, especially like in the 80s and 90s. But either way, so then the next part that, as Peter Griffin would say, grinds my gears, is the way that they treat Rachel. Just got to get my food back. That's fine. The way that they treat the character of Rachel, I really think that they had some really good possibilities coming out of 4, because I was really excited after seeing Halloween 4, even back in the day. I saw it in the theaters. I think it was the first one I saw in theaters, because that was in '88. So I was getting ready to graduate high school. So um, the Rachel was set up, to me, I thought it was cool because she survived and Jamie survived. So you had Jamie as a kid with the possibility of Jamie being consumed by the evil. And you had Rachel, who was the kind of like the quote unquote final girl in Halloween 4. And I thought it would be really cool is maybe they could have set up somebody stalking and trying to kill Rachel, and her thinking that it maybe could have been Jamie having something to do with it because of the way the last movie ended. But they crap all over that, like I said, and basically just have it where Jamie attacked her mother but didn't kill her foster mother. And I think in my review I might say stepmother, but I'm not going to go back and fix it. But either way, so in this one, you get Rachel for 1 or 2 scenes, and one of them is when she thinks that somebody's breaking in the house, and you get that dumbass Keystone cops showing up at the house, and between both of them, you get them acting stupid, making snide comments, trying to like make puns, and then you get that stupid ass clown music. So I don't know why anybody thought that would have been funny, but it wasn't. So you get that scene, and then like they try to make it some lame excuse of why Rachel could be not at home when Tina comes back. Something about she was supposed to be going off with her parents, and then she decided not to, so they could have the house for the weekend. And then stupid ass Tina shows up. I think that's at the hospital when you get Rachel, and in that scene where they're at the hospital and they bring the dog to visit Jamie. So then the next scene you get Rachel, I think, is when she's back home and she gets killed. So she's in 3 quick scenes, and it's probably 10-15 minutes. And why would you let her survive the last film if all you're going to do is kill her off? And you could have used her, because Ellie Cornell is a much better actress. No disrespect to the actress who played Tina. I don't even know what her name is. She gets on my nerves so bad. But why would you kill off a character like Rachel? She had such potential. She could have almost become the new, whether Jamie was going to be the killer or Michael was going to come back. To me, you could have had Rachel be almost like the next Jamie Lee Curtis type. But you kill her off at the very beginning and you replace her with Tina. Now, Tina, I'll say, especially at the end when she gets in her costume, she's a cute actress. But her dialogue is lame. They make her act so silly and stupid that there's literally there's no scene in the movie that Tina is in that I was happy about, other than when he stabs her. I think everybody might have been rooting for that. But other than that, did any of you guys have any respect for the Tina character? And were you pissed as I was when they killed Rachel off so early in the movie? At least give Rachel to us for half or 3/4 of the movie. I don't even understand why. And I didn't do a lot of research because I don't like the movie that much. I'll just tell you. But I did Google a little bit, and I really could not find a lot of explanation to why they kill Rachel off in the movie as early as they did. But so you got all that stuff with, the Dr. Loomis coming back and forth with Jamie in the hospital. And so eventually they have that little pageant or whatever. And I'm not going to go into the weeds with this thing. She has tits. Yeah, I guess. Check out, speaking of tits, check out my review of Halloween 4. It's going to drop. I'm going to post it at noon tomorrow, I think. I got a couple of jokes in there, speaking of tits, about that. So hopefully you guys will like it. So I always thought it was funny that Halloween 5 and Friday the 13th Part 5 had these guys driving like old muscle cars wearing like leather jackets and shit. So what was it? Was it because Grease became popular or something again? Why did they both have to have those type of characters? But I do think that's a decent scene. If I'm going to shit on it, I'm going to at least give it a little bit of praise. I like the scene where Michael confronts the guy in his car and he scratches the back of it. and then he ends up killing him, and then he ends up stealing his car. It finally let me in. What's up, JEFFMAN316? Hey, what's up, man? What do you mean it finally let you in? Why wouldn't it let you in? YouTube wouldn't let you in? Forgot her name, but I know which one you're talking about. But either way, so yeah, I like the part with the car, but everybody always laughs saying, you know, where did Michael learn to drive? He was driving that damn car awful good in Halloween 5. He's got that muscle car where Tina ends up getting in the car with him, you know, almost playing around with him. I think a lot of people get pissed off at that part, saying that kind of disrespects the Michael Myers character. It disrespects nothing compared to what they let Busta Rhymes do to him. So I think he just liked toying around with her. And so, you know, he lets her off to get the pack of cigarettes, and then the police are looking for her because of everything that Jamie's experiencing, and she feels that she's in danger. So she's got that, you know, connection to Michael again. And that part I still don't understand. I don't know why they would have a psychic connection. I could see her being traumatized, but I think it's really stupid the direction that some of these movies took after 4, like in this one. So you got the psychic connection with them, and then with her being mute, and then it isn't long after that where Jamie actually starts speaking again. So the girl in the shirt, you talking about Halloween 4? Kathleen Kinmont. They wouldn't let you in to the live chat right away. Who's they? You talking about YouTube? What were you in, Facebook jail or something, or YouTube jail? Yeah, like I said, if you're talking about Halloween 4, I've got 2 little jokes I do about that in there, because she wouldn't show the goods, but she showed them in other movies for sure. So what the hell's wrong with that? And remember, we mentioned that last week of what's with Friday the 13th having all the nudity, and the Halloween franchise not having any. Must be LOL. Yeah. So yeah, check that out. Like I said, that review will drop tomorrow at about noon, I think. So then I will say that it's got a couple of decent parts in it. Like I said, with the car, I do like the chase with Jamie in the house and her going into the, I don't know, what is that supposed to be, an old timey laundry chute? 4 and 5 I've seen the least. You need to really watch 4. I mean, like I said, I've liked 4 more and more over the years as I've watched it. Kind of like with 3. I think it was just because I watched 1 and 2 so much, you know, growing up and through my life, and I owned those on video first. I never really cared for 3 back in the day because I was a diehard Michael Myers fan. But I do like it more now. And like I said, 4 is really good. I mean, they do everything right. They take some good chances. The music's awesome. So like I said, my review, I put a little effort into that one. So watch it tomorrow. I love the part when he kills old boy and takes the car. Yeah, that's that's about where we were up to when I was describing the movie. I like it. And like I said, everybody says, where did Michael learn to drive? So he drives that damn muscle car pretty good. And so then there's another part I don't like with the car where he actually stalks, like, is it Tina in the car? Like he's on the farm and he's trying to run over her. I know a lot of people were talking about this mask and the fact that I think it was Cody Leach, one of the reviewers I heard, he made a good point that said that this is the only one that has like an actual autumn feel, because most of the killing that Michael does on the farm, he uses farm utensils. Like isn't there he uses a pitchfork in one part. He uses a scythe. Is that what you call that big swing blade? Seen it like 6 or 7 times, and like it just, my memory ain't great. Yeah, like I said, I do like revisiting these movies every couple years because they got kind of weak in the middle, so I never watched the middle ones, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, however many it is up until when the reboot happened. So I'm really not looking forward to watching Curse maybe, and I've got to figure out how I'm going to do the review of Curse, because I think what we'll talk about at the beginning of next week's live stream is the differences in the producer's cut versus the theatrical cut, because there's parts of both that I like. And I think there's a decent cut of that movie out there somewhere if they would take a little time and maybe mix the two together. but both of them have good and bad. It's kind of like, but there's not a lot of good in Halloween 5. I'm pretty sure they changed the damn house as well. Like when Loomis goes to the house, well, the first couple times I watched this, I didn't even realize that Loomis was going back to Michael's house because they changed the way the house looked. I was able to get on here, but the live stream wasn't showing up. I don't know what was going on. I'm glad I was able to get in this chat. Yeah, cool, man. I appreciate you coming by. Remember Loomis seeing Michael in the gas station, Rachel and Jamie on a roof, prank Michaels and Jamie killing her mom. Yeah, that was basically Halloween 4 in a nutshell. But that last line you said right there, Jamie killing her mom, that's what they wipe away at the beginning of Halloween 5, which is one of the reasons I'm pissed off about that movie, is because they didn't take any chances. This is felt like more of a money grab, that it was Halloween time and we needed to hurry up and rush a movie out there. I also think that Danielle Harris, as she got older, if you didn't want to go the route of Rachel as she aged, you could have maybe skipped a year or two in between each one. And she was at the age where she was going to grow up pretty fast, and they could have used her more in some of the movies. But obviously, if you guys know the history of Halloween 6 or, the Curse of Michael Myers, you know how poorly that the producers and everybody treated Danielle Harris. She was a child actor, and they wanted her to work a certain amount of hours, and she couldn't, from what I understand. So she was going to go get emancipated, and it was going to be what they offered her for her role was almost going to be what it was going to cost to be emancipated. But she went ahead and did it. And then when she went to talk to them about the role, they wouldn't pay her what the regular adult actors were making. And also her role in the movie was so small, they wouldn't expand it. She wasn't interested in doing it. So I do think they shit all over the Jamie character. If there's anything really bad about Curse of Michael Myers, it's that. You really had this character building up some steam. She's one of the bright spots, Danielle Harris. It's not her fault they had her muted at the beginning of the movie. She did everything she could with this. I think she even might have gotten cut slightly when she fell down that metal chute. But all of that looked great. I love that part. I thought it was a little bit stupid when they did lure him into the house and he went after Loomis. And well, I definitely need to rewatch 5. I thought that's why she's in the hospital. Or did the mom survive the stabbing? Yeah, the way they did it was she killed her mother in part 4 is what it was supposed to be. And that's why she was going to be in the hospital. But they wiped that clean. If you watch 5 again, they mention she, quote unquote, attacked her mother and she didn't kill her, and that they had her basically in there examining her. And it was more like for, it was mental what she went through. I like the killings in the barn and when the cop mistakes him with the guy who dressed up as Myers. Yeah, that's where we're getting ready to get to. We're to the end. Yeah, that was right before. I agree with that. Some of the kills in there are pretty decent. They do the pitchfork he tries to pitchfork through the couple in the barn. But to me, they happen too rapid fire there. There's not enough going on with Michael. The movie has got about 30 minutes there leading to that barn. That's boring as hell. I don't know why they could have spread some of the kills out. They did all of them in a really big, flash there in the barn. But I thought it was stupid with Loomis dropping that damn net over him in the house, and then didn't he shoot him with tranks, and then he was beating him with a damn 2x. Was it not a 2? Was it? It wasn't a 2x4. It was bigger than that, wasn't it? It was thick. It was like maybe a 4x8. He was beating him with that and beating him so much that he basically gave himself almost a heart attack, and he basically passed out on top of Michael. I thought maybe that might have ended the character of Loomis in 5, but obviously they brought him back for 6, and he died in real life shortly after that. But so if you remember, there's a part in the house that skipped over that pissed me off also. You remember when he had stolen the coffin? They mentioned at the beginning when he dug up the grave of a 9-year-old girl, and he stole the coffin, and it was he brought it home. And so, Loomis was like at the beginning, well, what do you think he's planning on doing with that? He was going to kill her, Jamie, and put her in it. So you get to the part where the coffin is up in the attic and Jamie crawls up there and actually gets in it to distract him. And then that's fine. I don't mind that scene. It kind of reminds me of Friday the 13th, when Jenny puts the sweater on to fool Jason to think that he's talking to his mother. So I like the fact that she gets in there and she calls him uncle, and she's like, can you take your mask off and show me? And I don't mind that because they keep his face in the shadows. You can kind of see his hair is growing long. He was a year out in the wilderness. But that's fine. But then they show, like she makes some mention that, you're just like me. And then they show his face, like basically a zoom in of his eye, and you see a tear come down. Wasn't this guy supposed to have been in a fire where he got burned alive? And even if he did survive that, obviously, that side of his face has no damage whatsoever. I've never seen anybody. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I've never seen anybody, him and Loomis, have be in such a big roaring fire, Michael being caught on fire, and other than some scars on the tops of their hands, and then and Loomis had the patch on his face. They literally came out of that almost unscathed. And then, like I said, then they show him cry. I mean, what the hell would he be crying for? And does he got emotions? I found out how they use it if I was in Utah. I have no clue why, but that was what I read. Yeah, I mean, it looks totally different. So in 5 and 6, the house doesn't even look like the Myers house. It's almost like they rushed into this thing and they were like, nobody's going to give a shit. It's got Michael Myers in it. That we don't have to keep up with any continuity. We don't have to keep anything that they wrote in the last movie. These movies don't need to interconnect. Nobody gives a crap about that. All they want is some kills. Let's just go ahead and just rewrite a movie and not have any real connective tissue in there. Purely and simply evil. Yeah, it was evil what they did with him, making him cry. Yeah, like you just said, crying. I don't know. I was confused about that back in the day. They made Myers supernatural right in 5 and 6. Other than surviving all those shotgun blasts at the end of 4 and falling in there, did Michael take any damage in 5 whatsoever? I guess, and then at the end of 4, he got hit by the car. They didn't do anything in 5. I don't think Michael took any damage whatsoever in 5. So when he's in one part, I don't even remember where it was, they show a zoom in of his wrist, and that's when you see the thorn symbol tattooed on his wrist for the first time. And so I also thought it was funny because right in the middle of the movie, I think there's like 2 parts that you see the man in black show up, and he's got silver tip boots on, and in one part he walks off of the damn bus. So this guy's supposed to be like, trying not to be conspicuous. He's trying to, I don't know, like, he doesn't want anybody to know who he is because he's got his collar all turned up when they do show him or whatever. He's wearing a hat down, but he rides the fucking bus into town, and he's supposed to be the leader of this cult. Why wouldn't he have made somebody, from the cult or somebody drive him into town where he could have come straight to where he thought, Michael was going to be, or Jamie or whoever. So end up being at the end, he walks up and after Loomis has caught Michael, and he's walking up to the jail, and then you go inside. That's cool. You got that on your wrist. Yeah, that's one of the only things that's damn cool about that. The thorn part is the tattoo. It's awful funny that people shit all over that thorn storyline, but then people love that tattoo. I mean, that is kind of cool. So here's the other stupid part or whatever. Michael is sitting in jail wearing that damn mask. So why would the police capture him? He's already been, Loomis threw a net over him. He's trained. So he's been obviously either in a police car or an ambulance, and they bring him to the station, and they never take his mask off, and they leave him there with his mask on. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You've already shown him take his mask off. You don't have to show his face. It would have been much more realistic to have him with his back turned, his head down in the shadows where you might have seen his long hair hanging down over his face, than to have the mask on in the jail cell. That is so fucking stupid. I love Halloween 6. Yeah, I don't know if I love it. I like it more as I've watched it, but I also like the aspect of being able to watch two different versions of it, because you can see the tug of war between the director and the producers and everybody about, do we want to go full on Thorn cult batshit crazy, or do we want to back off of it and try to make Michael Myers similar? I don't know which one is part 6 has it where Tommy puts the runes down on the floor and it stops Michael. That's garbage right there. I don't know which version of it had that, but I don't like that at all. So Halloween 5 could have had one of the worst endings of the entire franchise, if you ask me, because Michael is in jail with the mask on. This guy comes in with a machine gun, basically. The man in black mows everybody down, and then the next thing you see, Jamie's walking in. He's blown the cell open, and Michael ends up getting away with the man in black, and she's yelling no. Myers has no expression, but he starts crying. Yeah, I know. I mean, he literally, there's been multiple times, especially like when Karen took his mask, where you would have thought that he would have shown some emotion and he didn't. 1, 2, and 6 is my childhood. What makes you like 6 so much? Because I'll be having to watch 6 next week, the theatrical and the producer's cut, and then I'll be reviewing that one after I do 5. George P. Wilbur was awesome. Yeah, I do. I agree with that. So yeah, he returned, right? So he was the one that was in 4. Yeah, like I said, I like bits and pieces of both, but I don't know. I'm gonna sit down and watch them again here in a week, and we'll be talking about that one. So I'll watch them this week. Like I said, I just watched 5. So next week we're going to be talking about the producer's cut and the theatrical cut of Halloween 6. So if you guys haven't watched it, go back and watch. Brutal Michael. Yeah, he is brutal, especially in that one scene. Like I said, 6, the first 4 are excellent. I mean, I could sit down and watch, even though I just watched them, I could watch Halloween 1 through 4 all over again. Even though 3 doesn't have Michael in it, I still like it. Dude, 5, how that movie went from, and I'll just go ahead and spoil it, you'll know. Halloween 5, you went from 4 to me thinking it was one of the, pretty much could have been one of the best ones in the series, to then the next one is one of the worst ones in the series, probably almost tied with Resurrection. How does that happen? I mean, I know like Friday the 13th part 5 was not great. In fact, it didn't even have Jason in it, but it kept the same formula, and it actually ratcheted up the violence. I always said that's basically a softcore porn with Jason Voorhees in it. So maybe after I do the the Halloween franchise, maybe toward the end of the year, I'll review the Friday the 13th franchise. And then that kills me when he has his mask on in jail. It cracks me up. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's almost like they thought of some of the stupidest shit they could think of to just hurry this movie along and get it made. I don't know. And then I still don't understand, if you're going to make the Cult of Thorn and you're going to go in that direction, then you have Jamie have a psychic connection to Michael in 5, but you do nothing with that in 6, even with a different actress. Why shouldn't the two of them have had a psychic connection, and why wouldn't Jamie be able to outwit Michael because she knows what he's getting ready to do? LOL, Daniel. So I don't know. It's like I said, they threw so much shit up onto the wall and to see whatever would stick. And I don't know. So from the Nicolas Cage looking mask here to the stupid ass psychic connection to crapping all over Halloween 4. I don't know. That's just movies abomination to the franchise. Playing with the chains. Yeah, it's funny. Um, maybe that's what I'll do. Is I'll do some funny bit where I'm in jail as Michael and got my Nicolas Cage mask on. I'll do some funny Nicolas Cage quotes or something. I don't know. I got to think of something funny to do to make fun of that movie, but it just pisses me off. Like I said, to take a movie franchise that you come back after 10 years, spend all that time and effort, and you really do a great job with 4, to not put any effort into 5 just pisses me off. It was just such a wasted opportunity. And then for Miramax to get a hold of it after that, I guess they offer more money than anybody, and then have part 6. I was laughing because, they got the box set of the 4Ks of 6. H2O and Resurrection coming out, and one of the websites actually advertising it said, "Come and get the worst movies in the Halloween franchise in the best format they've ever been in." So I started thinking about that, and I was like, the only reason I might would get them is I'm pretty much a completist, and if I got all the rest of them in 4K, I'm going to want those. You think they'll release the Rob Zombie ones in 4K? Because that would be kind of cool. But either way, that's my rant of Halloween 5. So you're probably going to know the direction I'm taking with my review. We can pretend 5 doesn't exist like Resurrection. I'm done with 5 for a while. The good thing about it is I won't have to watch it. So I think I'll watch the theatrical cut first. I'm hoping Ends doesn't ruin this trilogy. Well, I've been on vacation this week, and I haven't made as many videos, but I'm going to start ramping back up. I got some juicy bits about Halloween Ends today, but I don't want to be that guy that posts spoilers and then it not be true, but it's from a source that's been pretty reliable with a lot of the stuff. So if what he tells me is true, I don't think I'm going to like Halloween Ends at all. And like I've said in a couple of my videos and in one of the live streams, I've already come to the realization that I just need to get over this whole thing about Corey, and that he's in there. They've already done it. It's too late. Are we going to be able to salvage it at this point? Ends is going to be awful, Blackest Eyes. Yeah, I'm afraid it's looking that way, because I'll go ahead and spoil it with you guys since I only have a couple people on here. So spoiler alert. I heard that somebody said they claimed to have seen the final theatrical cut that's going to get, and I didn't want to hear any details about the kills, but they said that Michael kills 5 people in the movie, and that there's more people that die, but they obviously are not at the hands of Michael. So you know what that means. So my guess is, if we're speculating, and maybe that's what I'll do in one of my videos, is it's already rumored that Corey leads some people to Michael for him to kill him. In the trailer, if you watch it, there's at least 3 people screaming. My prediction in my video, damn, I feel the same way from what I've heard. Yeah, my prediction is the people that are screaming in the video are some of the people that have bullied Corey after he accidentally killed that child. And so there's at least 3 of them. So I think those 3, that's 3 of the 5 that I think he's going to lead to Michael, maybe. And then the rumor was that there was a police officer or somebody that was harassing Corey, and he ends up leading that person to Michael. So, if that being said, that would be 4. And then who could the 5th be? Unless he kills Corey himself, but I don't think he does. From what I understand, Corey may get away at the end. 2018 and Ends are great for the most part. You mean 2018 and Kills? Because I don't think Ends is going to be good. I still say this: why do you fuck up a franchise to the point where you had a 40-year story arc that you're trying to cover, and you bring in new characters in the third trilogy that end up screwing it up. So, here's another one of my predictions that I was thinking about putting in my next video. And I might go deeper into it, but let me you few that are watching, what you think. They said that David Gordon Green was worried that it was a little too much like Christine. Well, what happens in Christine? So the car is the one that's possessed by evil, right? And then because Arnie gets the car, then it's almost like guilt by association, like a little bit of it rubs off on him. So I think Corey's going to kill the child at the beginning by accident. I think Michael is going to still be alive, and Corey's going to find him. They're going to kind of be like kindred spirits. Like Corey's going to think some kind of weird way that they're connected. I think Corey's going to end up leading some people to Michael to kill him, but it's kind of like Christine. Like when Corey gets around Michael, he's going to be almost like consumed by the same evil. I don't know that it's going to be like a transfer of power or a transfer of evil. I think Corey's just going to have something almost like it snap inside of him. And so I don't think they're going to do anything silly like have some transfer of evil. That was in one of the possible screenings, and I don't think they're going to do that because I think that's the one that people shit all over. So that being said, I think Michael's going to kill a few people, and then Corey's going to end up being the one who ends up taking over and tries to go after Allison and Lori. And Michael's going to get pissed off and come after his mask and end up being, I don't know if he's going to kill Corey, but he's going to end up being in the fight at the end. All that's needed is Michael coming back, killing some fools, Michael versus Lori to the death. Simple. That's what I said. Why do you got to muck up everything by adding all these different layers of people? Yeah, and he meant 2018 and Kills. Yeah, like I said, I think Kills is pretty much a perfect movie if you just take out that hospital stuff with the evil dies tonight. And it's not, the evil dies tonight didn't bother me the first time I heard it. It's just that as you hear it over time, it is a little bit silly. And I don't think they needed to. I think they oversold that part and they put too much of that in there. But either way, so yeah. And the only way I could think that maybe they're thinking with this Corey character is if they want to have it where he's ambiguous at the end whether he dies. And like I was telling one of you guys, might have been you, Daniel, Michael might be supernatural, he might be just evil. The problem that you've got is he's in an old man's body, and the body is breaking down, and you can tell after every time something is done to him in these newer movies, it's taking longer and longer. In this case, it's going to be like 4 years since the last movie. JEFFMAN, what's up, brother? Halloween 5 is bad, but growing up with it on AMC Monster Fest and Fear Fest, it's a must watch every year. Really? Do you sit down every year and watch Halloween 5? God, I tried to watch it to do the review last week, and I was telling the guys I watched half of it, and then I had to just stop it and then watch the rest of it. And then it's still, I understand that it was on AMC and you might have grown up with it. Well, I'm glad I didn't grow up with that one. I grew up with 1, 2, and 3. So those are my go-to ones. And I really love 1 through 4. And I can't stand the fact that they went so far south on Halloween 5. You say you watch it every year. It doesn't mean it's good. People watch guilty pleasure movies. So what do you think about 5? I got to watch it this week for the kill ranking. Yeah. I just finished it. I'm watching them a week ahead of time, and I got to record my review today or tomorrow. And that's what I was trying to talk about it on here. The mask is bad though. Yeah. You got the old Nick Cage mask back here. But they still false advertise the damn poster with the original mask on it. That's what I busted on the mask in part 4. I thought that was pretty silly. And we were just talking about it. It does have some decent kills once Michael is allowed to kill some people when he gets to the farm. But it's got a big chunk of the movie, man, like 30 minutes. It's just boring as hell. I mean, there's not a lot going on other than Michael showing us that he still knows how to drive a car and stealing somebody else's mask. I mean, I don't love it. It's just that, yeah, I know. Like I said, but you know, I was saying that as far as a franchise, sitting down and watching them all, I probably watch Friday the 13th more than Halloween. But as far as quality of the movies, I think that the Halloween's got a lot better quality of movie in there. That if you're just going to pick one or two to watch, it's always Halloween number one for me. I love Halloween, and the first one is like my second favorite movie. So, um, yeah, I did a. I was joking. I'll just go ahead and tell you since you're on here. I did a skit, and I made the mistake of wrapping my head up like a damn mummy, like he does in the movie, and that was so hot. I'll never do that again. But hopefully it'll get a laugh out of you guys. But I got to think of something to do for the fifth one. That movie is so bad. I haven't been able to think of anything funny to do. Um, I guess I got to let it settle for a day or so, and then I'll think of something. There should be no new characters. The whole Corey thing is awful. Yeah, I agree. If Halloween ends, there's no way you should be introducing new characters in there. Um, what do you guys think about? I had this discussion with somebody the other day. If you are going into a movie and you're either worried or you don't think you're going to like it at all, do you guys mind spoilers? Because I've been doing those speculation videos about Halloween ends, and they get a lot of views, but I've had a couple people contact me afterwards on Twitter and Instagram and telling me that they don't like the fact that it could be spoilery. And I'm like, well, there was 3 damn screenings in the movie. I have no clue. The stuff that I'm reading online on websites and Reddit and everywhere, I have no clue if any of that stuff's true or not. But I'm just looking at what I've heard from the director, from Jamie Lee Curtis, from um, John Carpenter himself, and in interviews with James Du Courtney, Nick Castle, and then the trailers and stuff, and piecing that shit in together. Because I was reading an article about how the differences in the 2 trailers, and they show a little bit more in that Comic-Con trailer or wherever it was than they did in the one we saw as a teaser. So they're maybe trying to pull a swerve on us and like show us some footage it might not even be end up being in the final cut. Halloween is simple, and directors keep doing things to divide the fandom. All you need is Michael stalking, killing, and getting his arse beat. But when he comes back, but he always comes back. Slashers are so simple. Yeah, I know. They try to overcomplicate it. They want to put woke shit in the new ones, or they want to um, add too many characters in it to where, like in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, they had way too many characters in there that nobody even give a shit about. You're supposed to at least care about 1 or 2 of these characters in these movies. And I thought Halloween 4 did a good job of that. Ellie and Jamie, you really did care about both of them, and then they shit all over Ellie in part 5. That's why Michael should have died. In which one? Which one would you have killed him off in? In the last one? Halloween Kills? Core values, killer versus victim, the final girl. Exactly. I mean, it's rent cycle repeat, and people will fucking pay for that. They just don't really. A titty shot or 2 as well. Yeah, we could use more titty shots in Halloween. You know, I was thinking about that. Maybe one of the reasons that you don't see as many tit shots in Halloween is it usually involves a lot of younger people. The girls were supposed to be in high school, you know, in the first one, even though you did see some tits in the first one. Either way, I don't know. So yeah, as the movie series went along, you don't get a lot of good nudity in the Halloween movies like you do the Friday the 13th movies. I feel like Green tried to kill Halloween, just lost it because he loves ends. I read. So John Carpenter loved it? Well, maybe it's because he like tried to frame it like it was Christine, to go back to what we were saying. So if Michael's like the car and he's consumed by evil, and anybody that gets really close to him also turns sort of evil, that's what'll happen to Corey. And then maybe it'll end up like Christine, and they'll like take Michael to the junkyard and fucking kill him. Do you know if Lori dies? Do you want me to say that here? I mean, maybe I'll save that for a video. I don't know for a fact, but I will tell you this. I know in all 3, there's people that have told me about parts of all 3 screenings, and all 3 of them have the same ending for Lori. So I'm starting to lean in one direction. So I've already got an idea for 3 different Halloween videos. And so I'm probably going to that maybe that'll include one of them, the fate of the characters. Let me write that down. That's a good look at that. I love talking to you guys because it gives me ideas. So just so you know, my first video that'll be coming out in the next day or so is which character will be wasted the most. Is it going to be Lindsay, Allison, Hawkins, Lori, or Michael himself? Which one do you think is going to be wasted the most and why? So that'll be one video. The next video is going to be probably what we were talking about, the fate of the main characters. What do I think about those? Who lives and who dies? And part of that's just going to be speculation because I don't know for a fact, obviously. I feel Lori is a goner. I don't. For your intro, you could dress like her. Like who? Dress like who? Who's her? You talking about who? You talking about for part 5? I could dress like what? Jamie? The clown stuff? I don't know. What's a good Nicolas Cage movie I could pull some quotes from while I'm wearing the mask? I want Michael killing everyone. Well, you ain't getting it from what I heard. You're going to get some kills, but Michael's only going to probably do about half the killing in this movie. After kills, he should have died. Yeah, I don't know why they needed to do a trilogy. I think I might would have ended. I don't know. I kind of like the way they ended with him killing Karen though and looking out the window. I think they should have done a trilogy. I just think they're doing a really poor job of setting up the story for this one. I got a feeling we're going to be watching kills and then we're going to be talking about that shit for like ever because it's going to be really polarizing what they do with this movie. I don't think it's going to end the way anybody wants. Okie dokie. Yeah, I don't think it's going to end the way. I don't think it's going to make anybody happy in the end if they do it with the way that I'm seeing it going out. I don't think you're going to get enough of the main characters killed. I don't think you're going to get any real closure with this Corey character. Even after they introduce him, maybe they're trying to do some lame shit where they have him as a killer in future movies. And I don't think that people are going to like how they treat the Michael character. I just think, I think this movie, they would have been better off by not releasing a lot of this tease stuff. If you were going to if you had just saw the teaser trailer and you saw that one flash of that character of Corey, you wouldn't have known anything about the plan for him to be such a major part of the movie. Why did they get that out there? That's the end of that dream, LOL. Why did they put all of this shit out there about Corey? Was it because they were thinking that, hey, it's in there, it's too late, it's such a big part of the movie, we can't cut it all out? It's now at this point, let's go ahead and get some feelers out there, because I heard about the Corey, accidentally killing the kid long before I heard the actual reactions to any of the screenings that were out there. So I don't know why they did that. I think they've done a piss poor job of marketing this movie and getting people hyped up for it. I think they've only pissed people off up until this point. I love to see a titty shop from Allison. Yeah, I think she's more of a goody two shoes than Jamie Lee Curtis's character ever was. I doubt you ever see that. How old is that actress anyway? I know she's playing a lot younger than she really is, probably. Halloween. Maybe I'll look that up. Halloween ends. They didn't even damn say how old she is. I don't know. I like her. She's a pretty decent actress. I I can't spell her name. Matichik. She's older than you think. She's 28 years old. So she was playing a high school student in the last movie, and even though, when was that, 4 or 5 years ago, she was in her early 20s then. So they had her play a lot younger role than she really is. Then she's in that movie, The Son, I think is the name of it, that was on Shudder, and she's got a child in that. I've tried to stay optimistic, but man, everything I hear is worrying. Yeah, the same with me. I'm going to go see it, but if I can sit through Halloween 5 and I can sit through 6, and then H2O is pretty good, and then I can sit through Resurrection, I can sit through Kills. Ends, but I don't think we're going to get the resolutions that we want. I think Jamie Lee Curtis being a producer in the last couple, I think is really going to hurt the creativity aspect of it, of what they could have done one way or another. I watched an interview with her just the other day where she was talking about when she signed on to do H2O, they originally planned that she was going to kill Michael, and it wasn't any of that ambiguous shit at the end, that he was dead for sure. And so they kept submitting scripts to her where it said the ending was different than what they had discussed with her, and she wanted to know why. And so finally they told her, it's in the contract, we can't kill Michael. And that was the first time she heard about that. And she was basically like, what the fuck? So she then said, well, if that's the case, then I want to map this thing out. And she said, I want to have it to where Laurie killed the wrong person, and then I want to be killed myself in the first act of the next Halloween. And so that was the way she agreed to it. But they literally had her at the starting line of getting ready to film Halloween H2O, thinking that Michael was going to die for sure, and told her at the last minute. And she was like, at this point, I'm going to be the one that's going to, get everybody pissed if I quit this movie before it starts. So you got to make some concessions for me. And so that was how that went. I wanted a titty shot of Allison's friend in 2018. Oh yeah, man. She was fucking hotter than Allison herself. I thought she was the one talking about dry humping her boyfriend. If Corey takes over the new Halloweens, I'm done with Halloween. Yeah, I don't think he's not going to end up with a mask at the end is my prediction. So even if he takes over, I don't know that they would be able to call it Halloween, or maybe they could, but it would be, I don't know. I'm trying to think what you could call it. Because like Halloween, the return of Michael Myers, I understood it was a return. That was cool. And then the revenge, I guess because they've shot and blasted him down into the shaft and left him for dead. And it's his niece. So he wanted revenge on her. I could see that. I don't like Curse of Michael Myers at all because, like I said a minute ago, I'm not a big fan of that Thorn shit. But as far as the actual cult, forcing him to basically rape his niece, that's just weird shit. Same here, Daniel. Only one man wears this mask. Exactly. But hey, man, it's 2022. They're going to do some bullshit that we don't want. Hey, in Rob Zombie's Halloween, we got to see Daniel Harris titties, which is like, yeah, I mean, that's Rob Zombie, dude. I mean, he puts all that kind of stuff in his movies. She's been nude and other stuff as well anyway. But if you look at them now, go out online, Scout Taylor Compton is much more hot right now if you look at them than Daniel Harris, I think. To Michael and Ben Tramer. Yeah, I thought maybe they would do something to address the Ben Tramer character. But here's my fear. Think about this. So you got Lindsay Wallace, who did not die in Halloween Kills. And from what I hear, they're going to waste that character pretty much. More of that in my video I'll do. Number 2, you got Hawkins. I'm assuming there'll be some kind of relationship between him and Laurie in this one. But if not, what the hell was all that with the two of them back and forth in the hospital? And then you've got Allison, of course, who survived, and it should be pretty well traumatized because her mother, her father, her best friend, and her boyfriend died and then you got Laurie. So you got 4 major characters coming back from this trilogy that are still left. And I personally don't think any of the 4 of them are going to die. Now, if he did, the one to kill would be Laurie, and Allison should take over, like, as the protagonist. I want Michael to continue to be the villain until he dies naturally. Yeah, I mean, so how old is Michael supposed to be? Late 60s, close to 70 years old. I mean, how much more has he got in the tank? Like I said, if every time he gets injured, it takes more and more out of him. I asked a question in the last live stream. I want to ask before I forget, before we get off here tonight. Why do you think when Michael exited out of the house, and you saw that in the flashback scene out of his house in Halloween Kills, why do you think he let the police take him without fighting? Same way, why do you think he came out and basically let his parents take him away? Like, after he's finished his quote unquote job, of killing somebody or whatever, why do you think he lets the police or whoever just capture him? Is it because, he's just shut down? He puts it down inside? Like, why did he stay incarcerated for 40 years and not try to escape? That always, like, what triggers him was, I don't even think he would have escaped in this new timeline. I think the doctor obviously helped stage the escape on the bus so that he could see him in the wild. Michael was not going to try to escape himself. If it wasn't for the doctor helping stage that bus crash or helped him get out of that bus crash, I don't think Michael would have just escaped on his own. One good thing, if Halloween Ends flops, we might see a reboot sooner or later. That's true. Madness. Probably, but like I said, I think Michael would have just been content. He did what he did. Like I said, people are trying to put him in a box and try to define too much shit about him. And as I said in the last one, that's the one thing I love about Michael Myers is, like, what Jason's motivation was. He watched his mom die. What Freddy's motivation was. The parents fucking tried to burn him alive and kill him for what he did to their children. Michael Myers, you never knew why he killed his original sister. He didn't know that Laurie was his sister in the first one. So I don't, people can't say that. He had no motivation to kill anybody that he did in the first movie. And only that bullshit story they set up in the second one about her being his sister and him coming after her. He didn't have any motivation to kill anybody that he did in the second one, leading up to going after Laurie. He should be just evil. There should be nothing defined. There should be nothing putting him in a box and trying to figure out why he does what he does. It should be random. That's what makes his character cool. So, like, if you look at all of the horror icons, yeah, I love Michael because I don't know, and you shouldn't. That's the way John Carpenter, like, don't put that thorn bullshit around him to make it to where that's his motivation. Like, don't put, revenge coming after the one family member that's still alive because, you got to sacrifice them and blah, blah, blah. Don't do any of that stuff. Every one of those other horror icons, like I said, Jason, because his mother was killed, and then he's batshit crazy now, and so he's motivated to kill anybody that comes into his path because of that shit. Freddy is revenge for what they did to him. Leatherface, even he is manipulated by his other family members to do their bidding almost. But it's when he's scared because he's, doesn't have all his mental capacity there. He's scared of people, so he ends up trying to protect his home or whatever. Even in Scream, each one of those, I don't like to consider Scream to be one of the horror icons because Ghostface, because it's a different person in every movie. So they each have their own motivations, but they have motivations. Michael's the only one that doesn't. Yeah, I don't want him explained. I don't want it either. Don't put any of that crap around it. So I hope they don't try to explain it in this one. I don't think they will. That's the one good thing. that thing that Lonnie mentioned in the last movie about that he was slowly working himself home. I think it was because he didn't know what to do. Like it's the only place he feels safe. To me, I think he feels safe in the sanitarium with Loomis. And then when they busted him out, when the doctor helped him get out, he went home. That's the only place he knows he wants to be safe. When he busted out the first time, they didn't explain why he tried to get out. And when he went home, when he went to Haddonfield, he went straight home. He wasn't bothering anybody. He was hiding in his own house. I don't think we'll get another Halloween to the 50th anniversary. I don't think either. And I don't think you're going to get Jamie Lee Curtis ever doing another one. I think from what I've heard, this is it. So I think it's going to end on a sour note. I think it's going to have such potential. I like the extended cut of Halloween Kills with it ending with Lori leaving the hospital, holding the knife down beside her. I think that should have been in the theatrical version. She's got some real motivation to go after getting him after she hears his voice, knowing that she's connected the dots, knowing that Karen's died. But if they're going with this one to where she's going to start the movie trying to start a new life and not think about that kind of stuff, I kind of see how if they already had that planned out, why they didn't show that, because that means she would have immediately been going after Michael. And once Hawkins tells her that Michael had no motivation to come after her, that it was because the doctor was leading him to her house, I think Lori kind of realized that, she was putting too much stock in that, and Michael really wasn't focusing on her at all. And that if she didn't focus on Michael, that he wouldn't focus on her. So I think that's what she's going to be doing at the beginning of Halloween Ends. I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying to stay positive, optimistic. Every week that I read something, it's everything still is about Corey. And like, go back to what I said, who put that shit out there? Like, how did all of this stuff about Corey? Would you guys answer that before we get off here? Would you guys have rather known about Corey, getting a little pissed off, trying to get over it for a couple months, going into the movie and then seeing that it really plays out with him doing some of the killing? Or would you have rather not known about Corey, went into the movie, and half the movie not be about Michael terrorizing, and you kind of be sitting in the theater going, oh, Jesus, what is going on? Which way would you rather have had it? That's why I keep telling people I would have rather had the spoilers. If I think the movie's going to go the way I want it to, or it isn't a franchise like this that's just went down so many different paths and pissed people off most of the time at the end of each path, to where I think people really want a good ending to this thing. Same as Billy in Black Christmas. Who is he? Did he kill baby Agnes? Has he escaped the night or just passing? I love Billy. Yeah, similar characters. When I saw Billy pop up, I thought you meant Billy Loomis. But yeah, I like it being ambiguous. I like not knowing what's going on with Michael. I think that's what makes his character unique, and I think that's what has kept his character so strong over the years, even through the shitty sequels like 5 that I had to watch. I think when they try to define him and put all that other stuff around him is when the chapters were the weakest. I don't think they should have mentioned if he's human or supernatural. Yeah, I think that kind of sparked a debate you and I had. I just don't think you should have known one way or another. I do think that David Gordon Green and John Carpenter think differently about that, though. I think John Carpenter leans more towards him having some supernatural qualities, and David Gordon Green leans towards more him being just superhuman. That maybe he doesn't have any pain receptors. Maybe he just doesn't get injured like regular people do. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm really torn about this whole Halloween Ends thing. So maybe that's a good way to end it, guys. I think I'm gonna get off here, unless you guys want to bring up anything else. As Ken said at the beginning, yeah, I'm unlucky, man. I've been off all week. Now I'm gonna have to go back to work, so it sucks. But Got some good ideas during my lunch times. I'm gonna be writing up some little scripts for some movies. I mean, for some videos this week about Halloween and stuff. This Corey crap, if it was at the writer's table, I'd slap who thought of Corey. I don't know. It's probably David Gordon Green and McBride themselves thought of this shit. They're probably trying to mix their horror movies together. I know they're both, horror movie fans, and maybe they, like I said, they took that analogy of Christine being evil and anybody that was around her, it rubbing off on them kind of, or taking over their mind like it did Arnie. I think they thought that was a good way to do it with Michael. Maybe they saw that he was aging and he wasn't going to be able to do as much in these movies. People want Michael versus Laurie. One shall stand, one shall fall. I agree. I don't know why. It's kind of like Rocky Balboa, in his movies. The movies never ended up being until they had Creed, and then he was a side character. It was always about Rocky moving forward and ending the movie in the battle that you wanted to see. And he kept it pretty cookie cutter and didn't sway from the formula too much. That's why the shit works, man. Especially now with special effects, and you could have thought of some really unique and cool kills. You could have thought of some ways that Laurie or Allison could have got away. I would have much rather expanded the role of Lindsay and expanded the role of Hawkins in this and not add any other characters. It would have been just enough. So, yep, it is stupid. But it is what it is. So it's almost middle of August. So we got what? What's today's date? 14th. 2 months from today, guys. We're going to be possibly, I don't know is that a Friday? I'm going to go out and see it the weekend it comes out, obviously. And then the first live stream that we'll be doing, I don't know whether I'm going to be, just so you guys know, I'm going to be in the middle of once we're at the end of the Halloween review, there's a 2-week period where we're going to all see Halloween Ends and then review it. And then we do a ranking of the movies after that. So I might need you guys to help me with the rankings. Get some powder on my hands and pimp slap the whole writer's room. Exactly. Hey, both of you guys know Halloween fans. Leading up to this thing, as we do more discussions about the movies and such, invite some people in here and tell them to come by and give me some ideas, because these movies are not as good coming up. The first 4 were really easy to review because they were really the 4 top-notch movies of the series. These next ones are going to be hard to review because they're not as good. So invite some people in. Let's talk about it, because next week we're talking about The Curse of Michael Myers, the theatrical cut and the producer's cut, and I'm going to have to watch both of them this week. So yay me. So if you guys haven't watched them in a while, go out and watch them. Let me know. I got some ideas, like I said, for some videos coming up. Just got that new one tonight, so I'm going to probably post at least 2 Halloween Ends theory videos this week, hopefully. Yeah, Daniel, come on with it. Yeah, I love both you guys. I appreciate your support. Nilla Nolan, yeah. I appreciate you guys, the support you guys been giving me. Send people our way, and like I said, if I watch the videos, you guys share them around. Anything that you guys like, I'm trying to sprinkle in some reviews here or there other than just Halloween stuff. But as it gets closer, man, it's probably going to be a lot of Halloween content on my channel. I'd be right there with you. Yeah, I think the 3 of us would be easy to go. How high? I think the 3 of us would be able to go against sit down in a room and make an argument with David Gordon Green and Danny McBride of why this ideas they've had about Halloween Ends are piss poor at this point. I think as much as the fans as they say they were to make that one, the first 2, how the mighty have fallen, man, to come up with this bullshit they've come up with. I have. Yeah, cool. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So like I said, I gotta I'm gonna head off here. Put some comments down below if you think of anything else, and if you got any ideas of some things we can talk about Halloween, Curse of Michael Myers next week, let me know. We can step brothers them like when they beat up the school kids. Yeah, we'll mash their face down into that white turd that is, we'll name it Corey. So Corey is the white turd of the Step Brothers, and we're gonna mash their faces into it. So boats and hoes. 2 months till we leave the theater depressed. I hope not. Like I said, maybe it'll be some good kills and nothing else. Ken, I appreciate you support. Have you been here the whole time? You hadn't said much, brother. I appreciate you. Like I said, spread the word. I'm gonna do a quick yeah, Jeff. I'm gonna do a quick look at the subscriber count. All right, I'm at 1475. 20 more. I'm gonna do a giveaway. 25 more. One of them is going to be that Blu-ray of the 3 Halloween movies. I got a couple other things I'm going to do when I hit 1,500. I'm going to at least give away 2 or 3 things on the channel. So, appreciate you guys supporting me, and anybody else that does. If you watch this now or later, keep supporting me. The main things I got going on now. Well, peace out, y'all. Have fun, chat. I'm getting ready to leave myself, brother. I'm getting ready to close it out. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that watches it. If you're watching this later, please support my channel. Hit a like on this. Also, come back. I'm doing the Halloween Screen review series. We're getting ready to drop Halloween 4, the review video of that tomorrow. I've just watched Halloween 5. That's what this discussion was. I hope you guys enjoy it. Post more videos on my page about ends. I'm going to at least do those 2 I just mentioned you, and as soon as I do, I'll drop some links on there. So watch out. Anybody watching this now or later, watch out for some Halloween Ends theory videos that we've been chatting about here tonight as we gear up for Halloween Ends on October 14th. Like I said, join me each week on Monday as I post a video for every movie in the Halloween franchise leading up to Halloween Ends on October 14th. So I appreciate any of you guys support me. Always like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that normal stuff I always say. Hit the notification bell. You'll know when I come back on live and when I post new videos. So until next time, boys and girls, this is JEFFMAN316, your pop culture reporter, signing out saying, you guys be safe out there.
Mr. Mayor, Chief, ladies and gentlemen.